my humble opinion, we are spoiled by the amount of talented running backs that we have in HBCU football. Caleb Johnson at Valley, Sivion Wilkerson at Jackson State, Maurice Washington at Grambling, Kendra Flowers at South Carolina State. The list goes on. But what if I told you that two of the best running backs in the HBCU ball aren't even in the FCS? It's true, though. And their names are Jada Byers from Virginia Union and Emmanuel Wilson at Fort Valley State. These two are amongst the best in HBCU football. As a matter of fact, I am going to go on record to say that if these guys were playing Division I football, they would have the same impact. But let me get into it a little bit more so you understand what I'm saying. I'm going to start with Jada Byers. For the past 5 weeks, since the season has started, Jada Byers has been a Conference Player of the Week 5 weeks straight. 5 weeks straight. On top of that, out of every running back in HBCU, he has the most yards at 891, which means he'll most likely get to 1,000 in a week, 2 tops. In just 5 games, he has 116 attempts, 891 yards, and he averages 7.7 yards per carry. You can use him in the run, we know that, but you can also use him in the pass as well. Man, when I tell you this man is so versatile for his offense at Virginia Union, they run through him. And he also has 11 touchdowns. Longest run of the season so far is 54 yards. Jada Byers is electric. He's averaging 178 yards per game. Jada Byers cannot be stopped. Next, let's talk about Emmanuel Wilson. Because see, Emmanuel came out the gate in his collegiate career swinging, okay? As a freshman, he was Rookie of the Year. That's right, as a freshman, this man came in at Johnson C. Smith University, right? 1,090 yards, 13 touchdowns, averaged 6.5 yards a carry in his freshman year. Now, at some point, he decides, to leave Johnson C. Smith. And then he ends up at Fort Valley, where he's still dominating. When I look at Emmanuel Wilson, I see a run style similar to Derrick Henry. I do. I really do. I see a run style that is similar to Derrick Henry. He's just downhill. He's a downhill runner. Can he juke you? Yes, he can. Does he have a great sidestep? Of course he does. He's very athletic, but he's a downhill runner. And if you get him in rhythm, it's over with. It's over with. Check this out. In just 5 games, he has 106 attempts, 650 yards, averages 6.1 yards a carry, 6.1 yards a carry, and 5 touchdowns. Longest run being 87 yards. Oh, and he's currently averaging 130 yards per game. Let that sink in. These two guys are very special. These two guys are so fun to watch. They need so much more recognition of what they're getting. These two guys are, I'm not going to say they're top 2 in HBCU football, right? But they are two of the most talented running backs that I've seen so far. That's just that. I thoroughly believe that if these guys were in the MEAC or the SWAC, they would have that same success. That's all. This video is just to put everybody else on game. People who don't know about them. If you do, obviously, this ain't for you. But I appreciate that you showed up anyway. With that being said, you're watching the BlitzCity Podcast. I'm your host, Kobe Orr. I'm out.